kids, don't try this at home, but if you must, then I've got the perfect thing for you. Hiya!
Welcome to Should You Buy It, where I help you decide whether or not a game's worth your time and money. Ever since mankind was first invented by Thomas Jefferson, people have been prone to get into the occasional scuffle every now and again. But fighting is wrong, and you should only resort to violence to defend yourself or if somebody pisses you off. Or if you're super badass like I was at the beginning of the video. Some people have a hard time being peaceful, so to help resist the temptation, Nintendo created a video game about fighting. This idea has been done at least once or twice in the past, maybe even more, but the twist here is that the fighter's arms are like stretchy and shit. Except for that one girl whose hair does the punching. So the game really should have been called Arms, but in parentheses, and hair. The question remains though, should you buy it? See what I did there? Well, for starters, this game is much better than Nintendo led me to believe. When I first saw the reveal, I didn't give a monkey's nutsack because it only showed motion controls being used. And while I do enjoy vigorously jerking my arm for, well, certain video games, like Wii Sports, you sick freak, fighting games aren't particularly where I'd use such a control method. Thankfully though, Nintendo didn't pull a Star Fox Zero and force motion controls. That's not to completely disregard using the Joy-Cons though, because I did give them an honest chance. I feel like they might actually be better if you have the patience to get used to it, but I just couldn't stick with it for longer than one round in the Grand Prix mode to really find out. I can't fault the developers for giving us more options though, so motion controls are definitely a bonus rather than a hindrance. As far as the actual gameplay goes, this is another area that pleasantly surprised me. I don't particularly play fighting games, nor do I consider myself to be good at them, but when I'm not at home, I keep thinking about how much I want to play it later, and that's always a good thing. I know my only option isn't just to play it at home since the Switch is portable, but I can't play ARMS while I'm operating heavy machinery during my day job. Anymore. If the family of Diane Onaker's watching this video, I'm sorry. Rest in poop, Miss Onaker. But don't blame me and call me a murderer, it's Nintendo's fault for making this game so much fun. The thing I like most about ARMS is that it's way different than your standard fighting game. All fighting games require skill, but more often than not, button mashing can still be useful. I mean, blind people can do it, I'm just saying. ARMS is a little bit more of a chess feel involved, at least to me. You can punch from pretty much any distance, meaning you always have to be on guard, but the further away you are, the harder it is for you to hit your target since it takes time for your arms to actually reach your opponent. To throw a monkey wrench into things, you can control the trajectory of your punch using the analog sticks and throw 2 punches at a time. If you miss with both arms though, then you're open to being attacked and can't block, so throwing wild haymakers probably won't be your best bet. Feeling your opponents out is a heck of a mess of fun, especially with actual human beings online. At least for me, since this game is brand new, and probably the only time I'll be skilled enough at a fighting game to play evenly with others online. Other than just having different characters though, there's plenty of different weapons to choose from, meaning 2 people can pick the same character but play completely differently from each other. You can use standard gloves, which are the most straightforward, missiles, lasers,
a hooker, a nun, a Flemish peasant woman, whips, chains, whistles, yo-yos,
and boomerangs that can curve more than a porn star's pee-pee. Not only are there plenty of different weapons, but each type of weapon does elemental damage, providing various different fighting styles to learn and get used to. Personally, I try to throw a single punch hoping for my enemy to dodge and I surprise him with my other free arm. But when I lose patience, which doesn't take very long, I like to jump around wildly and go for grabs far more than I should, but somehow I win more often than not. I mean, not to brag or anything, but, you know, I'm pretty tough. And as far as the characters themselves go, there's plenty of different fun and unique fighters to choose from. Another thing that I falsely took away from the reveal trailer was that the characters were bland looking and didn't stand out very much. But I couldn't have been a more wrong, dumbass little bitch. My personal favorite is Kid Cobra because he likes snakeboarding and making rad vids. I'm actually afraid of snakes, but Batman's also afraid of bats, so I guess that means I'm kinda like Batman, so suck it. In addition to cool characters, the stages are cool too, each having its own unique environment that can give you an advantage if you're smart or a big enough dick to utilize. And if fighting games don't tickle your fancy hole, then there's plenty of silly mini games like basketball, volleyball, and skill shot. It's weird that these are in the Grand Prix mode rather than just a bonus, but they're a nice addition regardless. It helps change things up a little bit rather than just being the same thing over and over again. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot, the music's catchy too. There's a part where it hits the brown note, which is perfect since the Switch is portable. My only critique of the Grand Prix mode though is that losing should have consequences rather than just allowing you to retry as many times as you want. With this being a fighting game though, there's really not too much more to get into as far as a review's concerned. But to answer your question on whether or not this game is worth your time and money really boils down to whether or not you like fighting games. If you like fighting games, then yes, this is absolutely worth it as it's unique for the genre and solid all around. If you don't like fighting games though, then you might be better off saving your money for Splatoon 2. But if you don't typically play fighting games like myself and have some extra money lying around, then I'd say it's still worth taking a look at regardless, especially if you want something new. Just don't spend your children's lunch money out of curiosity. If you've already played ARMS though, let me know in the comments down below what you think. And don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and all that. And if you're new, check some of our other videos out. I put them right there, you dick. See you next time.
So I want to say thank you to your loyalty, thank you for your support.